In this video, we will share the LEGO John Deere 9620R four-wheel drive tractor with a dual tire setup. The John Deere 9620R tractor is LEGO Technic set 42136. This video is one of two videos with the dual tire setup modification. It is also one of few videos with mods to this LEGO set that we will share here on the Brick Barn channel. We're going to start with demonstrating single, dual, and triple tire setups. As an alternative to a single tire setup, the 9620R can be set up with duals or triples. Dual tires or duals mean that there are 2 wheels and tires on each corner with a total of 8 wheels and tires. Triple tires or triples mean that there are 3 wheels and tires on each corner with a total of 12 wheels and tires. In this video, we're going to set up duals. The included wheel and tire looks like it may be a little too wide compared with the real dual setup, but much too wide compared with the triple setup. That being said, using 2 of the included LEGO wheels and tires still gives it some of the proportions of a multi-wheel and tire setup. We will begin with the John Deere tractor as it is assembled with the LEGO set 42136 instructions. We're going to start by looking at this tractor with the wheels off. This view will show some of the details so we can see some of what it took to put dual wheels on. This is the view of the assembly undercarriage including a gear set. The gear set allows a person to control the turning or articulated steering of the tractor. We can also see that there are additional pieces in the front and the rear to brace the axles and the wheels. There is a connector that is a 1x3 piece for the axle and the front wheels. This is also braced by a piece that is 1x2. In the rear, there is a 1x3 brace that supports the axle for the rear wheels. Another thing that we can observe is each of the wheels can spin freely of each other because they are all independent axle pieces. Although this axle looks like it could be a straight axle, the rear axles are actually 2 separate pieces. For comparison, we will look at the modification I did to install the dual tire setup. This is our LEGO John Deere 9620R tractor dual tire setup, which is version 1 of 2. Although modified, the goal of this dual tire setup was to keep the tractor as close as possible to the LEGO 42136 set dimensions. At first glance, it looks like all that was done was to replace the stock axles with longer axle pieces. In fact, longer axles were the only modifications needed to be installed in the front. In the front, we can see the same 1x3 pin connector to the black frame and the same 1x2 brace to the green frame. So again, the only difference in the front is that there are longer axles to accommodate the dual tires. The rear is where most of the modifications were made to this tractor. The rear also includes longer axles to match the front. In addition to the longer axles, you will see that the gears for the articulated steering remains. You will also notice that there are many different pieces in the rear assembly. The reason for these different pieces is that they accommodate the additional weight of the second wheel and tire. It may be possible to install only longer axles on the rear stock setup. However, only adding longer axles in the rear adds much more strain on the whole rear assembly. Although you may be able to add the same 1x3 piece, I'd change it to add more support in the rear. Rather than using just a 1x3 piece, 2 separate 1x2 pieces are used to support the axle and add additional support for the frame. Because of the decision to use 2 separate pieces, a lot of pieces around that area had to also be modified. So this mod created a ripple effect of mods all the way up to the top of the rear assembly. The pieces for the slow-moving vehicle emblem, which looks like a triangle, needed to be modified. That mod then led to reinstalling the rear fenders out. Here's an even better view of the mods in the rear when removing the slow-moving vehicle emblem. Now we've seen and discussed the mods used for the dual tire setup. Next, we will show how the dual tires and wheels themselves are installed on the tractor. First, the wheel and tire included with the LEGO set number 42136 is installed on the longer axle. Next, a 1x2 axle connector piece is installed over the longer axle on the outside of the first wheel. Now an additional 1x3 axle will be installed into the 1x2 axle connector piece. To finish off the dual tire setup, the second wheel and tire is installed over the 1x3 axles. This process was repeated on the other 3 corners of the tractor. In this view, we can see how the LEGO John Deere 9620R four-wheel drive tractor rolls and articulates with the dual tire setup. Along with the additional weight of the dual wheels and tires, rolling the tractor also demonstrates why additional support is needed for the rear. In this view, we will rotate the original assembly for the LEGO set 42136. In this view, we will rotate the LEGO John Deere 9620R four-wheel drive tractor with dual tires. For comparison, we will view both the dual tire and single tire setup side by side. Now we can see that we've maintained most of the dimensions of the original set. This includes the height of the hood, roof, and rear fenders. From the side view, almost everything has the same height. The wheelbase or distance between the center of the front and rear axles is also still the same. The track or distance between the width of the two first front tires is also still similar. Here's a comparison view of the tractors from the rear view. As a side note, there are many reasons why tractors have multiple tire setups like duals or triples. Here are a few. The increased surface area of the additional tires help to spread the weight across a larger area and reduce soil compaction. This is a similar reason to why there are flotation tires available for tractors. This is also why flotation and soil compaction are used when discussing tractor weight distribution across a larger surface. Another reason to install duals or triples is that the increased surface area also increases the efficiency to transmit torque from the drivetrain to the soil, which leads to more traction. Although there may be more, the last reason to install duals or triples is to help reduce or eliminate power hop. Power hop in a tractor is when the tractor hops, bounces, or jumps during field operation. Power hop is uncomfortable for the operator in the cab and leads to a loss of traction and efficiency during the hop. This concludes this LEGO John Deere 9620R tractor mod for dual tire setup. Please keep in mind that this is the first of 2 dual tire setup videos and there will be more LEGO videos to follow. Thank you for watching.